story number 4. LinkedIn is for teens because Facebook is for old people. I don't know what this means, man. But yeah, we got this story coming out that LinkedIn is being used by a lot of teenagers and young people, not so much for jobs, that's there too, but they're being social on this. Theo, you heard about this one. What happened?
Yeah, man, I guess this is weird, but I guess LinkedIn's reporting around a 41% increase in the volume of content posted from Gen Z. And so they're seeing a lot of Gen Zers, and those are those born in 2021, in the 2000s, early 2000s, mid 2000s to now, the ones that the 18 to 20-year-old teenagers, they're seeing more increase on LinkedIn more and more. And I think we talked about this before. Social media is becoming a drudge. It's just, hey, post, how many views I got. It's this constant treadmill, right? You're on and trying to get views. Whereas LinkedIn is not like that, right? I recently went on a rant with a bunch of friends and colleagues on LinkedIn. It's very different experience of social media, right? You post it out in the void and you don't know when they're gonna post back. It's not like social media. You just put something out there and you get some likes and views. You don't know who's watching what, and then most of the time people are bragging about something they did at work or job, right? To get another job. I get that part. But it is an amazing
Product.
tool to yeah, a product release or just some brag tool. But it's amazing that the teenagers are seeing this as a more friendly version of social media where they don't feel as criticized. And I could see that. You're not really judged on your identity so much. You just looked at as who are you are in your professional career? Who do you represent? And it's almost like you know, whereas you could feel like you're judged on social media by who you are, your appearance and all that stuff because it's more directly facing. I think LinkedIn, there may be like, and I just came up with this just now. I think there may be like enough barrier, right? This is your professional self, right? And your personal self is a little bit behind here. And so I think the teenagers are liking that aspect because they're just so used to that rawness of being out front with social media. So I was amazed too when I read that story that more teens are on LinkedIn, and obviously it's for those who's looking for jobs, interns, and teenagers probably have a lot of angst about finding internships, college students finding ways to get a job in a high inflation environment, bad economy. So all those factors are probably conflating now to create this need for the teens to show up on LinkedIn. I use it. I don't know, Mr. Benja, do you use it much?
I use it here and there. Sometimes I'm just going in to check on people, and it's mostly the same stuff. Hi, guys, we're hiring. Hey, my new product got released. Hey, check out what I'm doing, or check. It's either what I'm doing or I found a job. So it's the same kind of stuff. I actually tried posting some social stuff a while ago, and it worked out. Where I'm like,
Mhm.
hey, let me tell you a story about how I'm doing my job, and I did that for a couple weeks, and I was like, I get it, but it's like a stand-up comic not being in a comedy club. They're doing stand-up comedy in a Chipotle. It's like it's like it's like I was getting good reactions, but I'm like, "Why am I here?"
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, that's funny, Charles. Yeah, it's funny.
Mhm. "Hey, could you pass me the nachos?" But yeah, and that's what's interesting with this whole Gen Z on this thing and teens getting into it is millennials aren't that into it. I don't know why. Millennials aren't so big on it. They're like, "Eh." So maybe it's one of those parents, grandparents generation type of thing.
Mhm.
Screw what my
Mhm.
parents were doing. I'm checking out what my grandparents were doing. I don't know.
Mm. Good point. That's the cool thing, LinkedIn. Yeah, man. So, like I said, we'll keep eye on this story. I am posting more on LinkedIn. You probably see me put some stuff out there, but you're right. It's just about self promotion and communication to a little bit more corporate or worker bee type mentality as opposed to social media,
Yeah.
which is more, hey, look at me. I'm a coach. I'm a guru. But you know what? You see more and more gurus show up. We talked about this, Gary Vee, right? He's really pushing it hard. I think he saw it as some open ground. Is he pushing this hard, or do you see him caping
Not
still for
as hard
LinkedIn?
anymore, but
Okay.
that may be because he was pushing it for the purposes of getting attention and advertising to it or marketing to it.
Mm,
If it's just a place to hang out and there's not that upside, he doesn't really talk about it so much. He watches it, doesn't talk about it so much, and he hasn't been talking about it, so I don't know if he's watching it.